Welcome, my dear students and friends, to Learning Management System, an e-learning program conducted by Department of Collegiate and Technical Education. Myself, Komla MH, lecturer from Government Polytechnic, Belgaum. Today, in my presentation, I am going to introduce you to the load commutation and what is the working principle of load commutation. We will have some questionnaires related to the topic which I will be covering, that is the load commutation. In the next part, we will see about the complementary commutation, how this complementary commutation is going to work, and also we will scratch our head about the questions on complementary commutation. So let us come to introduction to load commutation. So this is the load is connected in series with a capacitor. So the supply voltage is a DC supply because load commutation will come under post type of commutation where we will be giving the supply as DC. So this supply DC is connected in series to an SCR. SCR anode is connected to the positive of the supply and negative of your SCR is connected to the inductor L, and inductor is connected to a capacitor and capacitor is connected to series with the load, and the load is connected back to the DC supply voltage. So here the load is connected in series with these L and C components. So these L and C components are the resonating components. So these components will provide the resonation in the circuit. So this is the waveform of the current which is flowing through this circuit. So this is the current. This is an underdamped type of oscillation is provided. So LC tank circuit, you might have seen about this or studied about it. So this L and C, when it is connected in any circuit, it will provide the oscillations. So the frequency of the oscillations depends upon the resonating frequency of the L and C. So L and C, inductor and the capacitor is going to tell you the frequency of oscillations. So the oscillation provided should be underdamped in nature. So underdamped in nature means the oscillations should die out after some period of time. So then only it is called as underdamped type of oscillations. So here coming to this part, this is the load is connected in parallel with the capacitor. So this R and C, again it is connected in series to an inductor and SCR and again the DC supply. So this is the circuit waveform, circuit of your load when it is connected in parallel with the capacitor, and this is the oscillations which is provided by this L, C and R, that is when R is connected in parallel to the C. So the difference between this and this is the oscillation period is going to vary in case of series type of load and when the same load is connected in parallel. So the current flowing through this load is used to turn off the SCR, hence it is called as a load commutation. That is when the load, this load will play an important role in turning off of this SCR. So you have already know how to turn off the SCR is by applying a reverse voltage and making the current to flow below the holding current value. So since this inductor, that is your load, is going to play an important role in turning off the SCR device. So these commutating components L and C, which are connected in series or parallel to the load. So this L and C, as I have already told you, this L and C value should be chosen such that it should provide an under-damped resonant circuit to produce naturally zero current. So this naturally the current should go to zero after some time interval. Then only we can able to have the SCR turn off period, because the supply is DC. So the constant current will be flowing from the supply side. So how to make the current through this SCR to go to zero? So only that is the only method is by connecting L and C resonating components in the circuit. Then only naturally even it can be able to go to zero. So this point is very important for us to make the SCR to turn off. So this is the region where the holding current is going to zero and then to the negative. So when this load value is large, it is connected in parallel in the circuit. So if the load value is small, it is connected in series with the circuit. So these are some of the circuit diagrams and waveforms of load commutation. So this is the circuit diagram that we have seen when it is connected in parallel with the capacitor, and this is when load is connected in series with the capacitor, and these are the waveforms how the gate current is going to vary and how according to the gate how your capacitor voltage is going to behave and how the current through the SCR is going to vary accordingly, and what about the your voltage across the SCR. So in detail we are going to see how these things will happen in its working principle. So when SCR is on, capacitor is charged to. So once you give a gate pulse, the gate pulse is being given here at this point. So what will happen? Once the gate pulse is given, current starts to flow through this circuit. As a result, the same current is going to charge the capacitor also. Capacitor starts to charge in this direction, positive and negative, and the capacitor voltage also going to build up and current is flowing through the inductor. That is your SCR. SCR current or inductor current both are same because it is connected in series in the circuit. Now after some time interval, what will happen is when the capacitor is charged to the supply voltage, so it is shown in this region, when the capacitor is charged to supply voltage, now what it have to do when it is fully charged, now it will not charge again, but what it will do is because of this inductor present here, the property of an inductor is it is not going to change the direction of current immediately or suddenly. So due to the property of the inductor, the capacitor have to charge further. So this inductor, what it will do? It will not going to change the direction of the current immediately. For that reason, the capacitor continues to charge for some other time. This is the capacitor which is going to charge to 2 times of the DC voltage. So 2 times of the DC voltage, how it is? How it is this is the initial voltage. Through this DC supply it is going to charge. Then the extra another VDC voltage is being charged by the inductor. So this voltage plus the already present voltage, both the voltages is going to add together to the capacitor, and the capacitor voltage is being 2 times of the supply voltage. So once the capacitor has been charged to 2 times of the supply voltage, then automatically the current through the SCR is reduced. Why it is reduced? The SCR direction is reduced because this capacitor voltage which is more than the supply voltage is going to provide or make the SCR reverse bias. Here you can able to see. See, here it is a positive and here it is a negative. So this positive and negative in the reverse bias state, SCR has been connected with across the capacitor. Therefore, SCR due to this reverse potential applied by the capacitor to the SCR is going to turn off. See here slowly the current across the SCR is also reducing. So once your potential then of your capacitor is 2 times the supply voltage, then automatically your SCR current is reverse biased, SCR is reverse biased, and the current across your SCR will come down to 0. So then SCR is turned off. So till where it is turned off? Till you are going to apply another pulse. So till you are going to apply another pulse, this state is continued. So this state is continued till you are going to apply another pulse. So again once if you apply the another or SCR is turned on, the same cycle is going to repeat. So the same cycle is repeating. So if you come look at this voltage across your SCR, then here also what we can do is we can able to see the SCR is in the off state from SCR is in the off state from 0 from this point to SCR. Here the SCR voltage is 0, that is SCR is in the conducting state. So once the voltage across your capacitor reaches to 2 times of VDC, then automatically SCR voltage is negative. See, this is also important because a reverse voltage has been applied by the capacitor to the SCR. This voltage has been shown here. This is the negative voltage applied across the SCR to turn it off. So after some period, as the voltage across your capacitor is coming down, the voltage across your capacitor also will reach to positive. Your SCR will also reach to maximum value, that is a positive value, and again it is in the off state. So off state is your SCR is in the off state only. So here at this point you are going to turn on the SCR. So this is the same thing, I have explained it here. The second question is, in class A type of commutation, the resonant circuit has to be overdamped, critically damped, underdamped, or negative. So what is the answer? So class A type of commutation is the commutation of what we are studying now, that is the load type of commutation. So I have already told you in the starting slide itself then what type of oscillations have to be produced by this load commutation circuit. So what is the answer? The answer is underdamped. So the oscillations have to be underdamped in the nature, that is it have to die out after some period of time. So then this commutation is going to work properly. So in the class A type of commutation, the resonant circuit will be underdamped in nature. Next, coming to complementary type of commutation. So in the complementary type of commutation, this is the supply DC voltage. There are two SCRs, T1 and T2. Both are connected in parallel along with the capacitor C. This is your resistor R1. This is your resistor R2. The one main thing how this complementary commutation is going to work is, if you want to turn on T1, then the turning on of T1 will turn off T2, and turning on of T2 will turn on turning on of T2 will turn off T1. So complementary, one SCR if it is on, another SCR will be in the off state. If this SCR is in the on state, the another SCR will go into the off state. So these are the some of the circuit diagrams of the same complementary commutations, so which we will see further. So this is coming to the working principle. So as I have already told you, this is one SCR T1 and this is another SCR T2. So it is being connected to the DC supply. So when T1 is on, T2 will be off, and when T2 is on, T1 will be off. So let us assume the capacitor is uncharged initially. So this is the capacitor voltage which is starting from 0, that is it is not charged. Now you apply a gate pulse T1 for this. IG1 is the gate pulse for thyristor T1. So once you apply the gate pulse, the current starts to flow through this SCR. So this is open circuit because it is not in the conducting state. Okay. So this is at the time interval of t is equal to 0. So this is the direction of the current. So two direction the current will be flowing once the T1 is turned on. One is through this R1, another is through this R2 through the capacitor. So capacitor also in the same time it is going to charge through this current. So I1 current through this R1 and the capacitor current through this R2. So this is the R1 and I1 and IC current which is flowing. Now if you see the current through R1 is I1 is equal to Vs is the supply voltage, Vs by R1, and in this slide you can see the capacitor is now charging through T2. So that is your T1 is turned off by the reverse voltage what has been applied by the capacitor once your T2 is turned on. So this voltage of the capacitor will turn off your SCR T1. So this is the direction of your current flowing through this T2 once your SCR T1 is off state. Now capacitor also will try to charge in the reverse direction. So this is the waveform when T1 is on. So this is the when T1 is on. So this is the negative voltage applied across T1 and it is going to charge in the same because SCR is off state. So same as the supply voltage we can able to see here, and this is the VT2 secondary, that is your SCR2 voltage because now this is in the on state. So the voltage is 0 and now the capacitor try to charge in the opposite direction because the current flow is in this direction. So it is negative here and this is the current flowing through this. One is this current and another is this IC current. Because the capacitor, why the term 2 come here is, one is the capacitor is initially charged to plus Vs. So this is plus Vs, see here. This is plus Vs, capacitor is charged at this moment before SCR is turned on. Now again once this SCR is turned on, this Vs plus this Vs, 2 Vs is going to, that is supply Vs plus the capacitor voltage, initial voltage. So both will become 2 times of Vs. So this 2 times of Vs is been shown here, and this current will be through this R1 resistor. So it is 2 Vs by R1 and this is Vs by R2. This is the current through this Vs by R2. So this is your current flowing through this SCR T2. So this is the negative voltage because it is charging in the opposite direction. No? So this is the negative voltage minus 2 Vs by R1. It is flowing here in this direction. So this state continues to be until this T1 is turned on again. So once this T1 is turned on, automatically this is going to turn off again by this reverse voltage whatever is there in the capacitor. So this 2 Vs again it is going to reduce this capacitor current. Once it is again recharged, it is current is going to stop and comes to 0, and this is your IT2 current again this current will not flow, only this Vs by R2 will flow. So this is the one. So again the same cycle is going to repeat after T3, where you are going to turn on T1 and T2 will be off by this capacitor. Okay. So this is about the complementary commutation. So again this is what I have told you in case of T3. So where here T3, your T1 will be going to on state and T2 will be going to off state by the applying of the reverse voltage to these capacitors. So as it has done for your T1, same way it will do for T2 also, the capacitor, by applying the reverse potential. So T2 will go into off state. So this type of commutation is called as a complementary impulse type of commutations. So these are some of the questions. The type of commutation when the load is commutated by transferring its load current to another incoming thyristor is class A or load commutation, class B or resonant commutation, class C or complementary commutation, or class D or impulse type of commutation. So the answer is which type of commutation? The load will be transferred from one part to another part. So if you see this, in load commutation it is not possible. So in the resonant commutation also it is not there. Complementary commutation also it is not there. Impulse commutation also it is not there. The only answer is complementary type of commutation. So in complementary commutation, the load is being transferred from one load current to another incoming thyristor. So then only it is called as a complementary commutation. So next we will see this question. So consider the following statements associated with various commutation techniques of a thyristor. In forced commutation, the commutating components L and C carry load current continuously. Forced commutation is usually employed in DC choppers. In load commutation, L and C are connected in parallel with the load or C in series with the load. Load commutation is employed in series inverters. In class C commutation, the main thyristor that is to be commutated is parallel with the load. So which of the statements given above are correct? 2 and 4, 1, 3 and 5. That is, this is 1. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. And this is 5. So which statement is correct? The answer is 2 and 4. That is, forced commutation is used in DC choppers. Commutating components L and C carry load current continuously is also not correct. So in load commutation, L and C are connected in parallel with the load or C in series with the load is not a correct answer. So load commutation is used in series inverter is the correct answer. And in class C commutation, main thyristor is to be commutated in is connected in parallel with the load is also not correct answer. So this is the multiple choice questions. So thank you for listening to my presentation.